Remember one thing, Kevin. Whenever anybody comes into your office, their sole purpose is to take the monkey off their back and put it on your back. And if you let slip, your whole office is filled with monkeys. So rule one is, if somebody comes in, they've got a problem, they want to take that monkey and put it on your shoulder. Take one out of your drawer, put it on their shoulder, let them leave with two.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I recently read something on LinkedIn. The caption was, "This is how cultures are created." There's two army people that came around and they were guarding a bench. So a new appointee, which is their manager in the case, the way that I'm understanding it, walked in and he sees these two men, taking rounds in there. And he asked them, "Why are you guarding a bench?" And they're like, "No, we were always told to guard the bench. Speak to your predecessor." So he goes in, gives the predecessor a call. "Hey, how's things? Everything else okay?" Like, listen, I saw two guys guarding a bench over there. And they said it's like a routine. It's like, yeah, we've always been told to do that. And I can just imagine him going around. Yeah. And we've always done a good job, doing that bench. It was beautiful. We always got it on time and perfectly. The new guy asked, who issued the orders? No, I always found it there. The previous guy, for the 10 years, whatever the case is, we're always doing it so well, it's worked perfectly. Picks up, calls the previous manager, who's now an old man in retirement. It's like, listen, I'm out here and I'm seeing this issue. Apparently it's been happening for a very, very long time. I mean, what's the deal? And that old man goes like, "No, you are kidding me. Yeah, I asked the guys to look at that bench, I remember, 60 years ago. But tell me, is the paint still wet?" Sometimes we do things without understanding how we do it and we create a culture out of it. In so doing, it's something else that I would like to say. It's actually taking care of other people's monkeys. Because the old manager might as well just stood there and then guarded the bench themselves to make sure that nobody sits on it, or could have just taken some time and then taped around it so that nobody does it. But he didn't want to take care of all those monkeys. So what did he do? He picked two guys. You. Make sure that nobody sits there. Look after that bench till I come back. It is later on, until I bumped into Rupert, that I understood the perfect way and how it links into analysis. Listen to this for a second.
24-hour operation. How do you stay sane?
Rule one in life is to delegate stress. First people who get it's my wife and children, okay?
Right.
Now, joking aside, it was easier before the internet and emails. Because nowadays, people just send you an email, they pass the problem to you and they're gone. So we have a rule. Remember one thing, Kevin. Whenever anybody comes into your office, their sole purpose is to take the monkey off their back and put it on your back. And if you let slip, your whole office is filled with monkeys. So rule one is, if somebody comes in, they've got a problem, they want to take that monkey and put it on your shoulder. Take one out of your drawer, put it on their shoulder, let them leave with two. Simply, we have a few rules. Rule one, don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Okay.
Because if you're afraid to make mistakes all the time, you're never going to amount to anything. Rule two, if you make a mistake, admit to it immediately.
Right.
To your superior. Because then you own that problem together. If you keep it to yourself, you hide it and you try and fix it, then it's your problem. Because normally any problem can be resolved if revealed early enough.
Right.
Rule 3, don't make the same mistake twice, because then we think you're slightly, but don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Right.
I think his 3 rules are quite easy and simple, but I have other, 5 of them that I would like to extend over and above his one. I mean, his first one is the ultimate. I would say stand by that one as an analyst. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Most of the time we say no to things because we are afraid we've never done it before. If you've done something before and you keep on saying yes to the same thing that you've done before, of course you're not growing. That's why growth and mistakes go hand in hand. So the more mistakes that you make, the better you grow. But it goes to his rule number 3. Rule number 2 is once you make a mistake, according to him, speak immediately to your manager, and that way you share the responsibility or the fault of the thing. So what happened most of the time with me, I would make mistakes in my analysis because my manager is not technical, he's a business person, he's an accountant. I would not be able to convey, even if I tried to explain to him what the problem is, he wouldn't understand. That's the dual me of, being good in finance and also being good in technical side of things. Other things, financial things we can share, but the other ones we can't share. So some of the rules we own, we are in ownership together. Others he has no clue what am I going through. So I think it's quite important that when you hit a mistake and we hit a brick wall, share it immediately with your superior. It could be an exec, whoever. Share it immediately. Say, it's not going to happen. Number 3 that he says is quite nice. If you make a mistake, make sure that you don't repeat your mistakes, the same mistake again and again, because people will lose trust in you. I think that's very, very important. For myself as an analyst, what I've picked up is there's also 5 things that I picked up on my side. Number 1 is it is better for you to know both the technical side of things and the business side of things. The technical side of things is like everybody else about analysis, we all talk about technical skills, do this, SQL, Hadoop, you name them. That's the technical side of things. And the steps that are needed to do that, regression analysis, whatever your case, all of those are technically related things as far as I'm concerned. That's all the steps to informatics, technically related. The business side of things is the why. Why do we need this? Why do we need all of that? Why should we do that? Why is it important to do it now? All of those, the business side of things is coming through to when you go into X course or management offsites, that's where you get the why. Or if you're not invited in management thing and they say technical people are not invited, ask for the strategy document. I know I used to live on strategy document. After the pandemic, everybody else is using sharing Exco pack and Menco meetings. They record them because now they hold them on Teams or in remote things. They just give you access to that and you can go in and view them. That's the why, the strategy side of things. Once you know the 2, it goes back to number 2. Your technical side of things will allow you, on rule number 2, the technical side of things will allow you to know what is your expected time of completion. If you know your ETC or ETA, depending on what is it, your expected time of completion, you would know how to, how to scale the work. If you can say yes or no to it. If you are not in position to say no to the work, the monkeys is coming straight to you, at least you can say it will take a month. Somebody walks in and he says, can you help us with the vendor management or whatever the case is? You can say yes, but it'll take us 6 months to do it because you know the technical component side of things. Rule number 3, knowing the business side of things, use that with the strategy. Use the strategy to sift through which project you should say yes or no to. The projects that are not related to the strategy, say no to them. The project that relate to the strategy, say yes to them. Let's say for instance, somebody walks in, he's an exec for vendor management office or vendor procurement, walks in to say, you know what, I want you to help us with the procurement tracker, or I want you to help us clean up our asset, whatever allocation. Whoa, hang on a second, you're thinking, oh, that's an exciting topic. Only to find out that actually it's not, it might be in the strategy, but the reason why they're coming to you is because somebody has just resigned and they need that thing immediately. So you became the name that pop up to say, hang on, like, so for my side, I sit in finance. Hang on, my side, procurement and finance are so close together. let me ask this guy in finance to help us sort out this thing. And you realize that what you're doing, that project, as exciting as it could be, it's got no way in the priority of the entire business. It's something else that you've been asked because there's nobody to do it, or there's not enough technical skills at that point. They're still sourcing. Before you know it, now you have this monkey, and that monkey, you want even rewards from it. So knowing both the business, from the business strategy side of things, you would know, that project, no. Number 4, if you find yourself with a lot of monkeys going all over your office, this is what you do. Step back, have a look at the projects, and then I identify the projects. And this is very harsh, because sometimes you've been asked by an executive to say, can you help me with whatever the case is? Identify which of those projects are not for your role, or are not for your team or department, and then only start prioritizing those ones with immediate benefit within your department and whatever. They can ask you to do the same thing. You are still analyzing maybe net income, net interest income, because we're in the bank. We need to strip out interest charged, and then we have to do income based on what you pay for your transactions, whether your car, your house, and then we call that net interest income. NII it's a good measure. So if you doing a report on NII, only to find out that, oh, hang on a second, this has got nothing to do with our department. Actually, there's another department in group that actually does that, not in my side. You can easily let go of that few months later, come back and say, hang on a second, that project failed, and take it back. Those ones that has got immediate effect in your department, when you prioritize, put those ones first. The ones, push them aside, just put them in a separate room. And he said, these monkeys, they need certain attention. I'll put them in a separate room. Number 5 is be courageous to take the monkeys on the other room back to their owners without you saying, I've done some work. You just say, hang on a second, our monthly process is so hectic, our daily process is got this, whatever that. This projects we were unable to complete, and you send them back to where they are. At the end of the project, or the end of your tenure, or when you do performance management, if you do performance management, you'll be asked to say, oh, let's look at your goal commitment contract. You were supposed to complete, month-end process, say for instance, whatever you do on a monthly basis. You're supposed to send this to whoever. There's other monkeys that you're gonna bring and you say, but I also help whoever to get this. I help this one with depreciation, that one with They're not that relevant. They weigh very little on your project being, unless if you are a consultant and you want to show relevance in the department, then you'll take over all these monkeys. But the more monkeys that you take, the greater you're increasing your rate of failure. I would rather be known for one thing. When somebody comes to me, they say, that Lisema guy does finance analytics. The fact that there is now software analytics, and I'm jumping in to help the people in the cloud, how to best sort out the cloud deployment and stuff, that is not my issue. I'm happy to know how much does it cost to pay the people in that cloud journey. How much does it cost to implement that? And that's where I stop. Finance analytics, full stop. All this other / vendor management / depreciation specialist, asset owner, no, not my cup of tea. I would just like to be known for one thing, finance analytics, and I stick with it. There's a lot of monkeys that are coming, and there's a lot of monkeys that I can't shake off, because sometimes people are in hectic distress, and they come over to say, listen, can you help whoever to sort out your issue? There's a problem in another cluster. Can you help them to get their reports ready? All of those are monkeys that are coming through, and most of the time, sometimes it's so interesting, like I can just take in and run with it. But you just let it be there and you check, will this request still be here 6 months from now? If it disappears, look at that. You were going to take care of the monkey that's already on ICU, and when it dies, it was going to be your problem. So in here, we're looking at other people's monkeys, or what's the best way to take care of monkeys when they come your way. And I think Anton Rupert hit it straight on the nail when he said the sole process in life is about monkeys. And make sure that as much as you send your stress somewhere else, people are sending that stress to you. And analysts are the easiest people to stress.